And now to the other tragedy, this one in Washington, D.C. Coordinated operations still underway there as investigators probe the cause of Wednesday's deadly mid-air collision. Here's what we know right now, the latest on the investigation. Crews now have recovered at least 41 bodies. A total of 67 people are presumed dead. NTSB investigators announced today the helicopter's combined voice and flight data recorder has been recovered, and Navy barges are now en route to the crash site to help salvage debris. Tim McNicholas once again live for us at Reagan National Airport with more on the investigation. Tim.
Christine, those Navy barges are on their way here right now from Virginia Beach. These are huge ships that will help recover the plane's main body from the water. That work is expected to start tomorrow morning. Investigators believe many of the remaining 26 bodies are in the plane.
We need to make every effort and to make sure we're recovering every one of the people that perished in this accident.
Recovery crews once again battled challenging weather conditions on the water Friday. Meanwhile, the National Transportation Safety Board revealed the plane's cockpit voice recorder had water in it. So a team treated it overnight with ionized water as they try to extract its data, which could contain crucial information.
But we have a very high level of confidence that we will have it. We just have to work through a number of steps.
The NTSB is also confident they'll retrieve the data from the other devices they recovered, including the black box for the helicopter. The day before the deadly crash Wednesday, CBS News has learned another regional jet about to land at Reagan had a close call.
This time is a helicopter over Georgetown, northbound 300 feet.
The pilots got an alert from the onboard collision avoidance system about a military helicopter and aborted the landing attempt. CBS News has identified at least 4 other close calls between helicopters and planes around the airport, including a 2018 incident where a pilot took last-second evasive maneuvers to avoid an FAA plane landing on the same runway the jet from Wichita was cleared to land on this week. In that case, a controller failed to warn the 2 aircraft in advance.
We missed the call there and did converge to avoid that aircraft.
And the NTSB said it is already conducting interviews to try to determine what was happening in air traffic control at the time of Wednesday night's collision. They did say they will be looking at whether staffing played a role, Christine.
All right, Tim McNicholas, thank you for your reporting live from D.C. this week. We know now of at least 2 crew members from that American Airlines flight with ties to our area. One of the pilots has been confirmed as Jonathan Campos, and then a flight attendant has been identified as Denasia Brown Elder. Both were raised in Brooklyn before moving away. Brooklyn reporter Hannah Kliger spoke with their loved ones.
He was raised in Gravesend and moved to Florida shortly after his high school graduation. Nicole Suissa was his high school sweetheart and ex-fiance.
He's being publicized for how he died, but really, this was the boy who taught me how to live. He was good at it.
They met freshman year at Dewey and remained friends more than a decade after their breakup.
He wanted to be a pilot from the time he was a little boy. I wanted to be a lawyer from the time I was a little girl. And we made good on it.
She remains in touch with his mother and aunt who still live nearby. Lane Rosen is a retired high school teacher here and taught biology to Campos nearly 2 decades ago.
I remember him from taking every science class that the school had to offer. I believe he took 7 science classes in 3 and 4 years.
As soon as I saw his name and his face, my heart just dropped.
Jennifer Rubenfeld was his middle school teacher at IS 303 in Coney Island. Campos was in her class the first year of her career 22 years ago.
He worked so hard. He wanted to be successful academically. He was always very respectful and polite. He'd ask how you are, and he cared. He was such a great kid.
Denasia Brown Elder has also been identified as one of the flight attendants on board. Her friends and family say she grew up in Coney Island and moved to North Carolina after her mother died.
Her extended family members were not available to speak on camera, but say they're devastated to learn of the death of the beloved wife and mother who always dreamt of having a career in the sky. In southern Brooklyn, Hannah Kliger, CBS News, New York.
For the very latest on the midair collision, including where the investigation stands and what we know about the victims, go to CBSNewYork.com.